Hey guys, I know this video might seem kind of random, but I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about taking the time to do the things that you need to do when you have the time to do them. Because the one asset that doesn't wait for anyone is time, and it doesn't matter what age you are. You could be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, etc. But when the less time the older you get, the less time you have to come forward with the ideas that you have, because time just becomes smaller and smaller over time. And it might be stressful now, but you have to realize that it's not about the stress that you feel now in this moment. Like, I might feel a certain kind of stress about recording a video, or feel a certain kind of stress about not getting any views, in all honesty. But it all comes down, you could all break it down to what you're capable of doing at any given moment in time. It takes effort, and it's not something that's going to become simply something that's going to come after hours and days and months of not seeing any results, and then holding on to the fact that you're not seeing results, and then trying to become something bigger, because you don't get a second chance at any age that you lived. I'm turning 25 in a couple of days, and it's got me really stressed out, in the sense of, like, I'm no longer in my early 20s anymore. I've lost that connection with myself. I'm not going to be the same person that I always once was. And I thought, when I look back at this age, the older I think I am, I thought I was going to be more developed, more wise, more ready to take on the world. But it sometimes seems like I'm feeling like I'm further and further away from my goals. And sometimes that's okay, because your goals don't come overnight. Like, if you're 23, if you're 24, your life is still ahead of you. You still have time, but time is still very, very, very finicky, because you assume that you have so much more than you actually have. But in reality, there's only a certain amount of things that you can do to try and change your situation. And if you don't do them, then nothing will happen. That's why I'm here making this video, to try and help motivate the younger people who might see this video and think to themselves, what do I have to do to make something of myself? Just know that scrolling through TikTok all day and just like looking at the various memes and all the stupid ideas and the distractions, it doesn't take you anywhere. It just leaves you in the same place, maybe feeling a little bit more happy after, but that happiness doesn't last. And that's something that I realized the older I got, the less the internet is able to affect my mindset, which you could say is my frontal lobe developing at the age of 25. But it also comes down to not just looking at the things that developed you, but the things that affected your growth as well. Because there's certain things that might have stunted your growth, and whether those things could be it could be anything. That it could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be friends, it could be family, it could be your living situation. Any of those things could have stunted your growth. But at the end of the day, your growth is it's shaped by you. It's not shaped by anyone else. The older you get, the more you'll realize that no other person is ever going to be like you at your age. And you have to learn to accept that, and try and make something of yourself in the moments you have that are available to you. Like, for me, I understand that not every opportunity is going to be the best opportunity. Not every job is worth taking. Not every video is worth making. Even, you could say that, because it's not about how many people agree with you, or how many people are pushing you to do something. It's about if you agree with it within yourself. Because if you can't agree with something that helps you develop your mentality, your physicality, your spirituality, then you're not doing anything that's benefiting you at the end of the day. It comes down to breaking down the things that have hindered you and the things that have raised your growth, and learning as you get older to put the things that hindered you away and the things that lifted your growth closer to you, so that you develop into someone who's fully complete at once you're at the age of 25. Once you reach the age of 30, you have your frontal lobe is fully developed, and that fully encapsulates you, and you fully feel like you're full-fledged someone who's capable of handling any situation that comes to you, any problem, any issue. You feel like you can handle things on your own, and that's what being an adult is about. Just being able to take your issues into your own hands, and not let and being able to do something about it, rather than waiting on someone else to do something about it for you. And that's one thing that I believe helped me develop, because I stopped taking no for an answer the older I got, and that's why I've become a content creator, and I've become a filmer, and I've learned how to create new scenes and new scenarios every day, so that I can put myself in the best possible situation to grow in any kind of way. And it doesn't mean just gaining more viewers or gaining more audience, gaining a larger audience. Sometimes it means just something that benefits me individually, and you guys have to look at the things that you might have not thought about that benefits you individually, and learning how to hold on to them, so that when the older you get, you don't feel like you're being spread thin. It feels like you're actually being concentrated, because the more concentrated you are, the more concentration you'll have. And that is the difference between someone who gets to a high level versus someone who gets to a medium level versus someone who gets to the smallest level. Person who the person who constantly fights for their opportunities to change, and fights for their ability to not be in the same situation, they're going to be able to move forward. But the person who's not fighting for anything and is just staying stagnant, they're not going to be able to grow much. Their growth will be kind of like up and down, up and down, up and down, which growth is like an up and down pattern. But if it's only if it's angling down, like your stock is going down over time, then you know you're not doing something right, and you have to change something, because it's not gonna change itself. Your graph isn't gonna change itself. You're gonna have to make drastic changes, whether that means going on a new diet, or learning how to speak to people, without social anxiety, or learning how to actually exercise properly and right, or learning how to get more money. It all comes down to, these are the things that end up building us up as people. And so whether or not you make that final decision to let go of the things that you think are benefiting you, and holding and grabbing onto the new things that are giving you benefits, it's all a matter of perspective, because you're not going to, those new things that you're trying to grab onto, if you haven't held on to the old things that matter to you, you're not going to be able to grab onto those new things. So it's kind of like rock climbing. When you're rock climbing a wall, if you don't get to one particular section, you're not going to be able to get to the next section that's above that. If you don't get to the next section, you're not going to be able to get to the section that's above that. So by learning how to grab the opportunities in front of you one day by day, it makes you an overall better rock climber in a physical sense, in a figurative sense, excuse me. And this is the difference between someone who gets to where they want to go versus someone who doesn't get to where they want to go. Someone who chooses their path is someone who is gonna is gonna see that there's difficulties in rocks and stones in their path, but is still gonna work their best to try and handle the bumps, and handle the suspension, kind of like having a suspension for a car. If you guys don't have suspension in your car will automatically get destroyed the moment it hits a road and it starts getting bumpy, or or it hits a place where it's not supposed to be, and you're not bumping up and down. It's automatically going to destroy the car. But if you learn how to actually handle those bumps, kind of like how an iPhone camera has the jitter mod inside of it, so that it keeps the camera bouncing even when you're filming. So it maintains that stability. If you don't have the jitter mod for yourself, and you don't know how to have suspension within your own life, you're never going to be able to climb to those higher levels, and those higher levels, and this next level, and the next level after that. That's why I think it's really important to break down the things that have been that break down everything in life into simple steps, and into a simple breaking it down into a simple kind of category. Like, one thing I learned that recently that actually really helped me is understanding Shohei Ohtani's method for growth, because he wrote when he was 15 years old that he was going to become the top baseball star in the world, and he knew that it was going to happen. And so he created a chart that sort of looks like this. I created one for myself as well. Mine was I wrote for me to become a successful entrepreneur. That's my goal: become a successful entrepreneur and content creator. That's what I really want to be. And there's certain things that you have to do that, for me, the 6 main pillars of that are body, systems, learning, marketing, access, sales and monetization, personality, and mental toughness. And all those things come back to one particular thing: it's mindset. Because without the right mindset, you won't have the right body. Without the right mindset, you won't be having the perfect the marketing system. Without the right mindset, you won't have the right learning. Without the right mindset, you won't have the right sales and monetization. Without the right mindset, you might not have the right personality and financial discipline. Because mindset controls where you're at. Even if you're at 0 followers and you feel confident that you're still going to grow as a person, and you're going to grow as a creator, you're going to grow. But if you have that mindset that nothing's going to happen to you, and that there's nothing more that you can do than just film an average video, you're never going to move to that next level. You have to learn how to hold on to the right mindset, so that no matter what you're at, if you're at 2 followers, 2 viewers, 3 viewers, 5 viewers, 10 viewers, 100, or even 1,000,000, it doesn't change who you are. It doesn't shift who you are, except you shift who you are as to become someone who can speak to a larger audience. And that's something that happens from within you. It doesn't happen from the audience changing you. It happens from you changing, so that you can cater maybe better to a different audience that feels like maybe a younger audience that feels like they don't understand you completely, or an older audience that feels like they understand you, but they feel like there's more wisdom to be said. And that's why you have to be able to meet yourself in the middle, so that when you have a proper idea, you can act on it. And when you act on this idea, it will transfer you to the next level. Instead of like going up a step, it's like every time you go up a step, you're going to realize there's a new thing that's going to be in the way, a new way of getting up that next step, a new way of shifting your mindset, of shifting the way that you are, or shifting something in your environment to try and become something that's more successful, or more or better in any way. I just wanted to share this idea with you guys, because after paying attention to Shohei Ohtani's chart, I've become really motivated after creating this chart of my own to follow my mental toughness, my personality, my sales and monetization, my access, my marketing, my learning, my systems, and my body, and all that, just to focus on one goal of becoming a successful entrepreneur. And that's what I really want to do in my life, and I'm not going to give up until something happens for me. And I hope that you guys are willing to follow me on my journey, so that we can see things forward. I hope this video helped shed light to you guys a little bit more about why following Shohei Ohtani's chart kind of helped boost my mood and boost who I am, and why it even it appearing in my algorithm, I take it as a sign that I need to do something in my life to change it and become an overall better orator, a better speaker, a better person, a better brother, a better husband, a better father. And these are the things that I just hope to do as time goes on, so that I can become the best possible version of myself the older I get, and not feel like I'm heading downhill the older I get, which often happens to a lot of people. The older they get, they feel like they're they're less in the direction of where they once were, where they once understood themselves. I hope to head in a direction where I understand myself more and more every day until I'm crossing that plateau where I feel like I'm satisfied with where I'm at, and I just want to be able to grow just to help benefit other people at the end of the day. Because right now I feel the need to help to benefit myself and other people with creating this content, and that's why I kind of come off as this. I'm here to represent your big brother in this YouTube video, so that other people can understand where they're heading. If you're only 19, 20 years old, or even if you're 30 years old, 35 years old, you can take this video and understand that it doesn't matter what age you are. Some people become successful at 40. J.K. Rowling didn't write Harry Potter until 40 something years old. And so it's never, don't let your age be your telltale sign of where you end your trajectory. Let it be the place where you start your trajectory. Thank you.